everybody, and welcome back to the Girly Girl Bookworm. So today I have my last 5 reads for you, and this video came so quickly because I read 4 books just this weekend alone. And then I read 1 book so far this week. It's already Wednesday, so my reading has slowed down since the weekend, that's for sure. Not really a real reason why, it just kind of has. So the first 4 you have seen in my vlog if you watched my vlog. So I'm going to kind of go through them a little bit quickly because I do talk about them quite at length in the vlog, but I know that my vlogs aren't for everybody, so I'm going to try to keep it light but also be informative, if that makes sense. So we're going to get started. I've got 5 books, like I said. I've got 1 young adult novel. I've got 2 new adult novels. I've got 1 that's a thriller and then 1 that's Christian fiction that I was sent for review. So let's just get started. The first book that I read was Heroine by Mindy McGinnis. And this book is the YA novel I was telling you about. And this follows a girl who is really good on her softball team, ready to go to college, ready to start getting looked at, and she gets in a car accident with one of her other softball teammates, and she ends up getting really bad, a really bad injury to her leg. And they're I don't even know if you're going to make it to spring training. We have a lot of recovery to do, but she's determined that she's going to make it. And in the process, they put her on Oxy for the pain, but she obviously only gets a certain amount. And when she tells the doctor that she's still in pain, he kind of looks at her funny and is kind of like, no, I'm not giving you more. And she finds a way to get more, which then obviously leads her down a really bad path. And I was saying I gave this 4 stars, and it's hard because I really enjoyed it, but I also feel like, how do you enjoy something with such a dark topic? And you know what I'm saying? So it was enjoyable, but it was also not an easy read to read because you just you want everything to work out and you don't know if it's going to. If you read the prologue, you're really not sure if it's going to ending up well, because the author just sucks you in right into a story, right into why can't I speak today? Right into a scene that you just your heart almost stops for a minute. What could this girl be going through? How is she going to get from being where she is to there? And how does she recover from that? So it was really good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, as much as you could enjoy it. But for a YA novel, I felt like it was written really well. Yeah. I don't know where my words are today. 4 stars for Heroine by Mindy McGinnis. It makes me intrigued to try other books by her because I've always wanted to, but I just kind of haven't for no real reason. But I think this one's her first contemporary. I know Not a Drop to Drink was obviously kind of a dystopian world, so I think this might have been her first real contemporary set story. But I could be wrong, but definitely recommend this one. The 2 new adult novels I read actually go together. So I read Forgetting August by J.L. Berg and Remembering Everly by J.L. Berg, and this is a duology. And the duology is the Lost and Found series, and we start in book 1 with August and Everly's relationship. It's about 2 years after they've broken up. We know something bad went down. August is in a coma, and Everly has kind of moved on. She has a new fiance. She's trying to live her life, and she gets a phone call that August has woken up from his coma. Now, we know that they had a tumultuous relationship, but we don't know necessarily all of the aspects. It kind of unveils itself throughout the book, and we don't know how he ended up in the coma. And we're trying to figure things out, but August wakes up and he has no memory of anything. He has memory of concepts, he can remember Starbucks exists and things like that, but he knows nothing about his life. And he goes through his wallet and he finds a picture of Everly, and he's like, who is this? Can you find this girl? Call her for me. Maybe she knows my life. And she shows up raging mad and really does not want anything to do with him. And he's like, what did I do that was so bad that this woman wants nothing to do with me? So he kind of sets off on this journey of figuring out who he is, but also figuring out, like, how not to be what he used to be. And he kind of wants to earn Everly back, which is also really difficult because Everly's in a relationship. So I gave this book 4 out of 5 stars, and I also gave this book 4 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to tell you where this one starts because this one leaves on such a cliffhanger that I had to pick this one up right away. I do have to say the one thing that I did not love about this series is these characters can be very wishy-washy. They want one thing one minute and they want something different the next, and they can kind of bounce back and forth rather easily, almost too easy. So I wish that they weren't so wishy-washy and that they weren't so back and forth. Like I said, that they probably could have very easily been one novel if done right, and if they didn't do so much bouncing back and forth between what they want and what they don't want. But overall, I thought this was a really fun duology. I also recommended, I got these off Book Outlet. I would recommend doing that. They aren't like mind-blowing. So I would definitely pick them up on the cheap side if you can. Maybe pick it up on Kindle or something like that. Or check and see if they're on Book Outlet. But they are really stunning covers, so I'm excited that I own them. I just wouldn't have spent the full... Actually, they're actually not that bad. They're $12 according to the back. I thought normally they're like $15, but... they're only 12, so maybe not so bad, but really enjoyed this duology, and I was, you know it's good when you get sucked in from the first one and you have to pick the second one up right away, so I was glad that I had both. Then after that, I ended up picking up The Night Olivia Fell by Christina McDonald, and this is a, like, I think I called it thriller when I first started talking about it, but it's more kind of like a suspense mystery. This reminded me a lot of, What Happened to Amelia? No, Reconstructing Amelia. I don't know where I got that from, but Reconstructing Amelia by Kimberly McCreight. This is about a girl who falls off a bridge, and she is in rough shape, and her mom is trying to figure out what happened to her and what happened to her daughter, and they're trying to figure out, was she pushed? What happened to her? The mom thinks that the police aren't really doing a really good job of investigating. Like, they found marks on Olivia's arms, but they're not really doing a lot of investigation. Like, they find out, like, in the reports, like, they never even put the part about, like, her arms being bruised. So she's trying to figure out what happened. Did my daughter just fall? Did somebody push her? Did somebody murder her? What happened? And it goes back and forth between, like, a then and now kind of situation where you're reading the then from Olivia's point of view and like what leads her up to this event, and then you're also reading the now from the mom's perspective of her trying to figure out what happened to her daughter. And I found it to be good. I gave this one 4 stars as well. It was like a 4-star week, actually. I think all of these books I gave 4 stars, and I enjoyed it, but I just wish the pacing was a little bit more. Like, there was a lot of drama that was going on, and I felt like you didn't really know who you could trust, who was at cause, if there was a cause, if she did this to herself. But it definitely needed, like, to be picked up just a little bit, just a smidge faster, and I feel like I would have loved this book. So 4 stars for The Night Olivia Fell. The last book I have for you is a book that I received for review, and this will be in a haul too in the future. It's just I literally got it the day it came out. So I have Summer by the Tides by Denise Hunter. So I was chosen to be on Denise Hunter's Dream Team through her Facebook group. You can, like, apply if you want to be able to promote her new book. So I did, and I ended up receiving a copy. Unfortunately, something happened that the physical ARCs didn't get sent out right away. So we received a NetGalley version, and so I read half of it on NetGalley and half of it as a physical copy because it finally showed up yesterday. So yesterday was May 21st, so it is out, so you should definitely check it out if you are interested. This book follows a girl, and obviously, and her name is Maddie, and Maddie is living her life, doing what she loves to do. She works in a restaurant. She's about to get a promotion, she thinks. And she's loving her life. She's got this boyfriend of 6 months. She feels like everything's going her way. She goes into work one day and finds her boyfriend with her boss. and kind of almost like trash talking her. So the boyfriend has been cheating on her with this boss. This boyfriend gets the promotion over her when he shouldn't even be getting the promotion in the first place. And then to top it off, she gets a phone call from this guy being like, your grandma is missing. So she ends up leaving her job behind because she kind of like is mortified to even like go back, and obviously leaving this boyfriend behind. And she goes to this beach house where her grandmother lives, and she finds out that the neighbor also called her two sisters. These three sisters have not been back to this house in 20 years because there's a big event that we don't know what happened. It slowly gets revealed that there was an event 20 years prior that has kind of broken the family. And so she gets there, she's already nervous, like they're trying to find her grandma, but they also have family drama that they're dealing with, and she can't deal with like all the stuff that's going on, and there's lots of secrets between family members, and obviously there's a romance that brews between Maddie and their neighbor, Connor. Connor is the one who called them. So he is also somebody who has not been in a relationship in like 3 years. So he has some issues getting in a relationship too. I found this book to be really good. I gave it 4 stars, which is probably the lowest I've ever rated a Denise Hunter book. The reason why, there's like a subplot thing that drives me nuts in this that I would love to talk about, but I don't want to spoil it. So if you want to talk about it with me after you read it, come see me. Message me on Goodreads or message me on Instagram, because I will talk to you about what bothered me, but I just don't want to say it because I don't want to spoil everything. And the other thing was, this was only 300 pages. So there were some things that I felt like could have been more flushed out than they were. I felt like there were some scenes that kind of went way too fast because they just were referred to instead of going into detail about, which I wanted more detail about. And then there were other things that were brought out at length. Especially there's a lot of subplots going on because of the fact that there's 3 sisters. And this is a standalone novel, so there's no more books in this series. So I felt like it needed to be fleshed out just a smidge more to get that full in-depth feeling for all of the characters and to really get where they were going. So 4 stars, still really enjoyed it. Loved the romance because Connor and Maddie are just too cute together. And seeing the family dynamic grow and change throughout the novel was also very good and very well done. So I do recommend this. I still think you should check it out. It's just not my favorite book by her, unfortunately. But definitely check it out. It's out. It's released. It just came out. So go check it out. How many times can I say the word out in this sentence? I don't know. So those are the books that I have for you today. I have no idea what I'm going to read next. But it's already Wednesday. I might start something tonight. And we'll have to go into the long weekend. It's 3-day weekend this weekend, which is really exciting because I need that really badly. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I was so tongue-tied. I don't know where my words were today. And I will see you guys